Let's start. Thank you a lot for your attendance. Today, I'm very happy to be here, and it's very honor to me to have Hà Đào, not only for me, but also for Vietnamese community in the US. Hà Đào is former board of directors of American Society of Quality. And you know that anh Hà Đào helped me a lot in the ASQ community. You know, we are very proud of anh Hà. So we have one of Vietnamese who work as senior directors of one of the biggest association in the world. So anh Hà is a master black belt for operational excellence. And he used to work for the long time, maybe for the lifetime as an operational excellence. So he made for a living for a long time with Lean and Six Sigma as an expert, and he's a global expert. And now he's a technical director of Amazon. Is chairman of ASQ Automotive Division. So you know that in ASQ we have a lot of divisions. So Automotive Division is the biggest one for the division in ASQ. So Anh is the chairman of that. And we have the group of LinkedIn for more than 50,000 directors and C-levels and presidents in over the world who work for more than 20 biggest company for the automotive car like Toyota, Mercedes, a lot of company, the big one. So Anh is the chairman of this. And let's start with the webinar. So we have two parts. The first one, and we will present around 15 to 30 minutes around how operational excellence will help us. And the second one, we come to the Q&A. So we are more than welcome. All of you guys have the question. So this is a live webinar, so you can ask directly to Anh and me. So we can answer all of your questions. So thank again you guys, and let's start Anh.
Cảm ơn anh Trường đã giới thiệu cho Hà. Chào tất cả quý vị anh chị em. Thank you Trường. I'm very happy and glad to have this opportunity to share my knowledge with you and to talk to you. So today I will talk about operational excellence and how it will enhance stability and competitiveness. And I would like to share my knowledge and experience with you. And this is the two-way conversations, right? So hope, every time I share some of my experience, I always learn something from the people. And the way I would do is that if you have any question, please interrupt me anytime. I think we have plenty of time to have the conversations. Rather than wait to the end, if you have any question, feel free to ask the question right away so we can make it more interactive, right? I will go over 3 different areas. The first one is an overview. It's all about what is excellence and why are we pursuing excellence? What's the purpose of this? What are we getting out of this? And after we talk about the what, we'll talk about the how. How are we going to improving it, right? And how are we actually achieving excellence, if we ever achieving excellence? And then finally, this would be the last part where I will share with you some real-world applications and some of the applications learned. Again, this is just a high-level overview, and I'm hopeful that at the end, you would have a greater insight of operational excellence and, pursue more about it. It's all about what are you going to do next. And I got about 10, 15 slides, very short, not a lot of bullets, but more of a question. And I will show you a lot of roadmaps and playbook, if you will. So this could be, some information could be very helpful in terms of, excellence is defined by a lot of different people. We have different criteria. We have different parts of the world using different criteria. But as far as I'm having the experience, the Baldrige Performance Excellence Program is by far the most popular, the most widespread. And what it does is it's been around for a while and has a lot of documentation. So people using this as a roadmap, as a criteria for, what is the goalpost, where we want to go from there, and what is the criteria. So the Baldrige criteria is actually in the United States, but it is a set of expectations or requirements to be a world-class company, right? And it also has a structured approach to performance improvement. And then finally, it's actually a framework. It's a framework looking at the system's view of how it's performance. So this is the criteria where they can have it, and it's very structured, a lot of documentation, so you can judge yourself, you can compare yourself according to this criteria, and therefore it could be a learning experience, right? So you can compare, do, assess, then find out whether or not you got the result. So what is this purpose, or what's the goal of this criteria? What is excellent, by the way, is there's a goal and purpose to help the organization to improve performance, right? So basically it helps at the structure system approach to help the company to improve performance. And the performance is excellent is defined as delivery of an ever improving value. So let's talk about the value to whom? To the customers and to the stakeholders. And it's contributing to the organizational sustainability or stability or longevity or resiliency, right? And it's also about improving of all the organizational effectiveness and capability. And it's all talk about organizational and personal learning. So it's not only apply for the organization, it also apply for the individual that working to improving that. So that's kind of like the what, right? This is the what here. And again, there are several different Ball-Ridge or different excellent program, if you will. One of the famous one is European Foundation Quality Management. You probably heard of the Shingle Award or Deming Award, or, some of the company have their own excellent criteria. But somehow, somewhere, you have to have a criteria so you can measure up on. And for the United States or this part of the world, it's one of the biggest, very prestigious. Actually, the president of the United States is actually giving out the award. We have a one of the government agency that actually running the program. So it's pretty prestigious way, very well documented. If you haven't seen this one here, I would suggest that you get the criteria, take a look at it. Very interesting. And then it also gives you a playbook, right? You have a playbook, you have a requirement, and it's well accepted. So that's a good criteria to have. So, all right. So it's a big thing. So what we do today is we're going to focus on a couple areas. One is stability and how this is going to help you in stability and how it's going to help you in competitiveness, right? Stability, so most of you are familiar with Toyota production system, right? I'm sure you do. You heard of them. And they have two pillars. One is just-in-time. The other one is Jidoka. Jidoka is error prevention. We don't want to make error or defect coming that. But the base of that foundation is stability. Stability is about sustainability, about being predictable, being resilient, with all the COVID here, a lot of things becoming chaos and uncontrolled. So stability will help you do that. But all of this here is supporting what's going to the customer about quality, safety, productivity, and cost. So stability is foundation for Toyota. So that's kind of like there's a lot of aspects to focus on, but I like to focus on stability, particularly with all the post-pandemic thing. Can't send the stuff out, can't get it out, don't have people, inflation going up, everything's chaos. So now if you have a system that you're able to manage and minimize, that will be helpful. Amazon is making a lot of products, and one of our biggest customers is United Technology. And one of the companies, Carrier, we provide a lot of stuff to Carrier, and their operational excellence program is about achieving competitive excellence. So it's all about excellence, but they don't compare with themselves. They compare with the competitors, right? So it's just like a football team, soccer team. You're good, but when you go out to the competition, did you win? Did you get invitation to the World Cup? Did you win the World Cup? Did you win the World Cup? Multiple times. That's all about competitive, right? So a lot of companies compare themselves. I improve 5%, 10% every year, which is good. But the competition is improving 50%, 100%, 200%. And so why you make an improvement, you're not competitive, and then you eventually go out of business. So Amazon decided that they have different kinds of program, but in 2020, 2012, well, actually, I joined Emerson in 2010. I spent about a year and a half developing the program. So I actually, the architect and the people actually starting the program, got the proposal, leading it here. And we call it Achieving Enterprise Excellence, right? There's different levels of excellence, enterprise, operational, and quality. So we talk about that. But at that point in time, we made a proposal. We begin our journey. So it's not a one-time deal. It's a journey, and we call it AEE, just like Carrier call it ACE, Toyota call it TPS. We call it AEE for Emerson. So I will share you some of my personal experience that I'm working with this here, and what I learned about, and we continue to learn, right? So it's not perfect, but it's certainly going to the right direction. Any questions so far? So everybody define excellence different way. We go with the Baldrige, and Baldrige will go with enterprise, operational excellence, and quality excellence here. And as you see, we define enterprise is how do you satisfy the three stakeholders, right? One is the customers. The other one is shareholders, which is actually the money people, the finance people, and very importantly, the employees. So, and on the top of that, that would be the enterprise excellence. And you can see this has three legs, right? A, B, and C. It's not 1, 2, and 3. Not any one of these here is more important than the other one. All are important, right? So you can't have customer without the employee. You cannot have the shareholder without the customer. So what happens, stability is defined as, is it stable? Is it stable? If we take one leg out, do you think the stool is stable? It's probably not. Well, what if you have the other leg out? Well, it's still unstable. You have all legs out, well, then you fall, right? So stability is very important. It's at the foundation, and you don't have stability, it's not predictable, right? You a lot of chaos, a lot of variation. So customer enthusiasm is about, get what, this is actually a definitions to Lean, by the way, what they want, when they want it, at the lowest possible cost, right? Sometimes they want it, where they want it, but very high cost, and you're not as competitive. So everything is everything. The framework is, how are you compare to yourself, right? You're improving conditionally, but how do you compare with the competition, right? That's kind of here. And then shareholders, all of you familiar with that. Hey, we need to satisfy, these are the finance people. These are the bosses, right? You keep the sales, the management, they want to make sure we make some good operating margin. We need to have a lot of money in the checking account. And if we invest the money, what is the return on the capital, right? So that here. But what I personally like the most about excellent is that if you have a program that excellent, employees will be a major leg, right? It clearly is one of the three legs. There's a lot of focus on that. There's a lot of training, there's a lot of learning and growth, and you can be a participant and you can be empowered, you can make improvement, people recognize you that, right? They talk about different kind of, the challenges as they're going on. And as you grow with your experience, you have more opportunities. Okay. And then finally, the excellent program usually empower you to be able to, be your best, try out and don't be afraid about failing. And then finally, if you get all the skill set, you probably get good salary and benefits. And I got a 0 here because sometimes it's not true, right? So you got that, people say salary and benefit is good, but this may be true, it may not be true. So I put the 0 there in there. All right. So moving on to, we talk about the what, we talk about the why. The why is it's good for the customers, it's good for the shareholders, it's good for the employees. So if you are lucky to be a part of this company that has this program, it's a good company to have. And when my CEO going out talk about the stock prices, they always mentions about operational excellence. We got the program through that. So it's also a part of what calls a marketing campaign, and the people looking at to see whether or not you have this program to be stable, to remain for a long time, right? And then you have a systematic approach to doing that. All right, it's a big thing, right? We talk about enterprise excellence, we talk operational, it's a big thing. By the way, do you know, is this an African elephant? or an Asian elephant. And how can you tell? It's an Asian elephant. It's one of the biggest, one of the largest kind of animal in the planet. It's clearly about that. So it's kind of big, but how do you eat an elephant, right? You eat the elephant one bite at a time. So when I say enterprise elephant, I'm talking about the whole elephant. And when I say, enterprise means different things to different people. For Emerson, it's everything globally. Right? Everything globally is enterprise. When we talk about operational excellence, it may be one plant, one division, one product, one geographic location. We talk about operational excellence because they may not talk about everything here, right? But the scope is smaller, the level is smaller. And as you well know, is that everything is supported about quality, right? Everybody think, quality is a key pillars of customer satisfaction, excellence, stuff like that. So we'll break the elephant down to different levels for you. So when we talk about the ball bridge, we talk about the elephant. That's huge, that's big, right? So you see the heads here, and this is the big body here, right? And it has, what I like about this here is it's very well documented. It has a playbook, if you will. If you got a chance to take a look at it, you can get this one here. But it has what called is a triad. One's on the top, one in the middle, and one in the bottom. The top is who you are, what you do, what you stand for, what is the customer you're working, what relationship, strategic location, strategic situation, everything here. In the bottom one, it's supported by, knowledge management. Do you have a good KPI? Do you know how to analyze the data? And on the left-hand side, they call it triad, the leadership triad. And on the right-hand side is the workforce, operation triad. Triad is 3. And what's interesting is they all interconnected. So the Ball Ridge program is a holistic framework that helps you to manage, improve, and control about performance. Okay, so it's pretty good here, and it's an award, so it's like a competition. Everybody think they're pretty good in soccer and football, right? Until they start to participate in the World Cup, and they got beat right away. And only Argentina and France would get to the final, right? And finally, Argentina has actually won the World Cup for this year. So this year here, we considered Argentina is excellent. So, but the question is, are you consistently excellent? What about the next World Cup? That kind of the competition, stability is good, but how do you stable, but you're really bad. So that doesn't mean very good, right? So you got to want to be stable, but you got to be really good for competition. It takes some time. It's a big elephant. You cannot do that. I suggest you to get this one here, just read it. I think it's really insightful. There's a lot of definition. There's a lot of playbook, if you will. So what is Emerson? How is Emerson is using this playbook or stuff to put it their own program, right? Everybody's going to do, Toyota have the TPS, United Technology have ACE. Emerson use what called ACE. What we use is we use the Ball Bridge as an umbrella. It kind of cover everything. It kind of the thing we'll call is to align, to make sure that everything is aligned and working continuously in unison with others. Alignment means not going the same direction, but in the same speed and spatial, it's like football. Everybody moving up, everybody moving down in uniform way, right? So it's called align and glue. And then we want to use the Ball Bridge to tie everybody together because of that relationship here. This is holistic. This one ties everything. Right. So you cannot have one. You can do everything without results. No good. If you got result without leadership, you're not stable. Eventually, you're going to fail. Right. You don't have knowledge management. You're not consistently being good. So the Ball Bridge is the good area to tie everything together. So we use quality at the foundation. Right. To use quality, we use lean. And the bottom one is problem solving. Things going to fall. Things going to break. And how are you going to fix them? And how do you prevent it from happening? And then most of you familiar with Six Sigma, Green Belt, Black Belt, Master Black Belt. We actually teaching internally instead of sending the people outside. I actually teach people, get certified, and I send the people to ASQ to get that certification, right? So the training, the teaching is inside. We are starting at this design for Six Sigma, but we're not mature yet. So together, it's what we call it's an AEE program, and it's unique, it's different, but that's how we package it. That we call it the package. All right, let me break down to you. And again, this is high level to give you some insight, right? So as I mentioned, enterprise is very big. It's an elephant. And I actually put this together with my teamworks here. You never see it anywhere else in the world except at Amazon. When we send it out to you, we may have to take out its logo, but that's how we seeing it, how we achieving it. These are the pillars. These are what call it is the criteria. And the bottom one is the problem solving. We talk about the global enterprise here. This is 2012. We already figured out that supply chain management is one of the key areas. However, the supply chain management is not a part of our globe because we don't control supply chain management. It's outside the scope of the circle. So with chips, automobile chips, right? They cannot make any car because they don't got chips. And we also have outside of demands management. We can't make just in time if we don't know what is coming out of us. And we don't control the competition, right? Competitors, we don't control the competition, right? And we want to be best in class, but that is a journey. It's going to take a long time to get there. So this would give you some kind of a roadmap, if you will. Maybe it's a framework roadmap. That's how we use it. Complicated, but it's a good thing, right? Our vision is to achieve enterprise excellence. We may not get there, but that's our vision. That makes sense. So now, if you got enterprise excellence, do you think you got operational excellence? Do you think you got quality excellence? Answer is yes, because this is a part of that. You can't get this until you get this, and you cannot get this until you get the quality. This is inside the circle. So outside the circle, you don't have the control as much, right? You don't have very little control about competition, but you can do things about it to make yourself more stable. You can compete with them by being proactive and learning more about that. Okay, so let's moving on. Let's drill down from enterprise excellence to operational excellence. But the idea is the same. Excellence is excellence is excellent. So the idea is just the scope. How many people? How many plants? Right? What are the functions you're talking about? What tool do you use? But they are same methodology, smaller scope, smaller levels, if you will. Right. We go to enterprise to operational excellence. This is where you may be familiar with, right? We have a plan, we have a department, we have a process, we want to improving it. What methodology, these are methodology to help you to improve operational excellence. Obviously, there's three circles, right? Again, I present my information in terms of graphics, right? So we call lean is one bubble. We call Six Sigma is one bubble. We call design for Six Sigma is one bubble. But there's a lot of different bubbles, right? You can add more, but this just for simplicity, for easy of communication, we call three different buckets. And there's some intersection. This is called a Venn diagram, by the way. There's some section of lean and Six Sigma is called problem solving. There's a section between design Six Sigma. We just name it system thinking. And this here for design for Six Sigma, we call process capability, right? In the middle one, the intersection of everything is operational excellence. So that's kind of how we define it. And then you may have seen it defined it differently, but that's kind of what you got. You use these tools and techniques to improve your operation, make it more efficient, faster, better, cheaper, and more sustainable, right? And eventually you will be competitive. So that's kind of you doing that. But guess what? You have all of this and you don't have quality. Nothing else really matters because quality is actually one of the foundations in the bottom. It's kind of bottom going up. You don't have the base, then it's not working. And quality is being around for a long, long time. You are very much familiar with them, from Deming, from Duran, everybody here is in the World War II. And then basically we break quality in 4 different buckets. Now, the other one is a Venn diagram. This is PDCA, quality governance, ISO 9000, kind of like quality management system here. Quality planning is about strategic planning, what things you want to do, why we're doing it. Quality improvement is actually having a project, right? So Lean Six Sigma we'll pick 1 or 2 projects and then try to improving it, and hopefully the project will deliver value and results. And quality execution is actually the project management, the execution part of it, how fast you do, how efficient you do you document your work and stuff like that, and it goes through the circle again. In the middle is quality excellence. Now, ASQ is the largest quality organization in the world. Their model, anybody know what is their, the tagline is like 3 or 4 words that representing what they do. Their tagline, it used to be, ASQ is the voice of quality. That it used to be. Now, I was with the board of director, and but now we're calling it is called excellence through quality. When I say we, means I was part of it. We always knew that excellent has to be one. Excellent has to be the goal. Excellent has to be the journey. But how do we do it? People can use it for Six Sigma. People can use it for Lean. People can use it for, cabinet trade. Whatever tool in quality, we believe that quality is the tool allow us to achieve excellence through quality. Okay, and most of you, probably agree with that. I think without quality, nothing else really matters. So that kind of a summarize between, what is enterprise, right? What is operational excellence? What is quality? And how do we achieving it, right? So the next one is how. How do you eat a elephant, right? You got to break it down. You got to break it down to little things. And, we have improvement program, which is the bar rich, right? And then you can do a breakthrough improvement, or you can do an incremental improvement. Now, incremental is good, but it's sidestep. This one here is huge, significant, we call breakthrough program. So we choose to be going breakthrough. Again, I'm trying to talk this here to my lens of working on the program that we're working on. We can do ball bridge, we can do excellence, or we can do Kaizen events, right? We choose to get ball rich, right? That's how we're choosing it. And we want to do, one of the first things before improvement is you got to know where you are. In order to improve, you got to know where you are, right? Just analogies about soccer again, right? Are you a high school team? Are you a college team? Are you a professional team? Or you a world-class team? You have to know what you are, depending on your assessment or your level, then you would know how to proceed to the next step. So what we did was we actually did a bar rich assessment on ourselves and then find out where we are strong, where our weaknesses, and where's our opportunities, where the threats, where we want to go there, and we go from there. And based on that program, based on the assessment of where we are, using a very well documented criteria that actually accepted worldwide as, credibility, right? So we got the credibility, we got a really good criteria, it's well documented, they have a playbook, and at least we don't have to start from scratch, right? So that kind of like you don't have anything, using this as a starting point. That's very good. Then we make the improvement, we go back and we do what we call is the PDCA cycle, right? We do improvement, we do strategic planning, so we know what's important, we make the improvement, we just do it again. So we work from here, and as we work from quality, it will impact the operational excellence, and we are not there yet. We're not there. We are nowhere near enterprise excellence yet. So it takes a long time to do that. So again, the purpose is to give you the roadmap, the insight, the process. And then finally, I want to stop with what we call is the lessons learned, right? What did we learn about this program? And then what is the potholes, right? You go out and you hit the potholes and you see the potholes today, and you don't want to step on that pothole in the future. So one of the things kind of for my perspective, for my team, is that we must believe this program is beneficial to our all success. We don't want to work. This is a long journey. We take a long trip. If the people don't believe on this one here, it's going to be a long and difficult road, right? We need some positive, we need the people to participate, but we need the people to have some positive feedback, right? Otherwise, it's going to be long journey that actually frustrating. Sometimes you have a success story, you got to communicate that. You want to continuously show the value of the program. You got to show that this one's working. We got the reason. This is our why. Why we're doing this. Sometimes it's not pleasant. Sometimes it's not successful. But this, in the long run, this is what to do. And the second one is, this is about focused resources. Right? You want to do something good, it's going to take effort. Effort takes time and money, right? We don't have the leadership, we don't have commitment, you don't have priorities of the people working on it, you're not going to be successful. And the problem we was having was, we have very good leadership, very good commitment from one CEO, right? So when you have a new CEO, guess what? It's the changing priorities. So now how do you get through that? How do you adjust to a new leadership? That makes sense. And like everything else with new stuff, right? New stuff, we always have to be learning, right? So the management's learning, the people's learning, you speak a different language, everything else difficult. So we need to provide the training so that we can communicate effectively, so that we can, get the people to buy in and get the people to continue to give positive feedback, reinforce, sometimes it doesn't have to be positive, but it has to be reinforcing. We didn't do too well. Why? We need to improving it. And the next time we get better. So it's kind of encouraging, empowered, right? Because everything is new for everybody, right? Some people will be new, right? There are people will retire. You got some college kids coming in. There's different people and they need the training. And some of the skill set is not taught in schools or colleges, right? And we are using different functional teams, people in engineering, research, sales, marketing as one team, and they don't get the same skill set. I was very lucky because this is what I do, but not a lot of people don't have that stuff. So we have to, and they think I'm crazy anyway. Finally, I think this is a mindset for excellence. It's the mindset to be the best. It's the mindset to be competitive. It's the mindset to be stable, right? And it's the mindset that I'm not talking about a destination. I'm talking about a journey. We're going to improve as you go along. And one of the really good book, it was published in 2015 by John Mitchell. I will give you this PDF file. It's really good. And we use it quite a lot. And it's from Wiley Publishing Company. And John talking about a journey. Right. He's not talking about a destination. He said, hey, you know what? When we finish the journey here, we're going to take another journey. Right. So it's going to be a multiple, it's not like you go to the top of a mountain and say you declare that you're done. Right. And it's all about creating value to the customers, to the shareholders. It's also about communicating the value to the employees. And it has to be sustainable. Right. Sustainable is about stability, longevity, resiliency, stable, predictable. It's all about that, because you can be a World Cup winner one time, but next year you're dead. I mean, you're not good. You're not really excellent. You just got lucky, right? Your system is not repeatable. So this is a really good document. So that's kind of here. And I just want to share we did that, and we did go through the process. We did train people. We did having the award criteria assessed on us, and they gave it, they said, hey, you guys pretty good. You're not that bad at all. So we received an award for the Partnership with Excellence 2012. And this is local. It's not a national award. This is for Ohio, Indiana, and West Virginia. So 3 states combined. And, this is Ohio's, Indiana and West Virginia is pretty big. It's almost like a country compared to a lot of other countries. So, we feel comfortable, good of that, where we are. Again, we're recognizing that it's not a destination, it's a journey, and we want to continue to grow. So with that, the conclusion is it's a journey. It takes a lot of hard work. You have to be patient. You got to keep it simple. If it's too complicated, people give up. You got to keep it flowing. It got to keep moving. It's like a stream. It's like a river. If it doesn't flow, it's dead. It doesn't flow, it's dead. You got to keep it moving, got to be flowing. The mindset has to be continuously improved, but you got to keep an eye on the competition. You can improve 5%, competition improving 50%, then you won't be in the business for so long. But overall, for my experience, I really glad that I got an opportunity to participate and play a big role on this one here. I learned a lot. There's a lot of things I would have done differently if I know now. What I would suggest is get the playbook from somebody else. Let somebody else make a mistake and you learn from them. And that would be a little bit quicker, faster, cheaper, more efficient way to learn about this. So with that, I would open to some kind of a discussion and questions and, conversation. Again, I'm sharing my experience, could be right, wrong, or indifferent. So thank you very much for the opportunity to talk to you. I talked with Trường and Trung. I believe this is an opportunity of a lifetime for me to be participating with John&Partners in Vietnam. I mean, it's just incredible opportunity for me to be part of this great organization and great people. By the way, I went back to Vietnam in 2019. COVID hit, never come back since. So I plan to come back either this year or early next year.